Hello and welcome to the Dumb Founder Show. I'm your number one dumb founder, and this is the place to be. Guess what? Code is dead. Code is dead. Why do I say that? Because folks over in America, they're saying, "Hey, if you haven't tried coding for a while using AI, you should try it right now." Now, I'm fully aware that the Google Pro 3.1 just came out, and like I don't need to try it. I'm fine. I'm good. See, the problem with Google is that they don't really understand what just happened, I guess. They should have released their model earlier than the Claude Code 4.6, because I've been using Claude Code 4.6 for a couple of days, and it solved all the problems that I've been having with my previous in my previous coding experiences. Like, it does it like, almost instantly. It finds all the problems, it does all the things. So, like, because look at my workflow. If you go back in my videos, you can see me coding for the last entire year. For a year, I've been trying to understand how to use these coding tools. Did I learn something in the process? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Did I learn something? I learned, like, that AI was, not getting the task done, and I had to try to figure out ways, like workflows from the perspective of a non-coder in order to make up for the weaknesses of the tools. And, yeah, I mean, did I learn something? I learned that I think the biggest lesson from all of it is that my idea wasn't like my design, the actual thing, my tool. It wasn't as developed as I thought it was. Going through the process of using these tools, I had to, like, really create the actual program. Now, would it be a different type of program if I made it a year ago as compared to today? Yeah, probably. Would it be better or worse? I don't know. So, I mean, you could argue, oh, well, I'm so glad that it took so long for the AI tools to figure out how to work properly. And now it gave me the perfect amount of time to improve my processes and learn something interesting and become the person I want to be. Yeah, okay, that's a great argument. Except then I start like a podcast called The Dumb Founder Show. So apparently I'm not very smart. So why does 1 year matter? When you talk about moats, see, we're in a different world. Like, that was an atomic bomb. Claude Opus 4.6 is an atomic bomb, because I click Claude Opus and I'm like, could you just check to see what the problems are in my code and then fix them all instantly? And it's like, okay, boom, and then they're all fixed like 10 seconds later. I couldn't get that kind of response from the other coding tools for an entire year, and this coding tool in 2 seconds solved. It's like, so then Google comes out and says, "Hey, come back to my Pro 3.1." No, no, why? I just like Claude 4.6, it works. So, I mean, it's like when like, I was using that phone. Remember when you're in I was in China, I was in Shanghai in like 2004, and I had this Nokia phone. I thought it was a big deal to move from, like, the gray screen Nokias, and then which has buttons on on the button type, and then to move to, like, to have a colored screen where I could, like, see images, and then you could actually send an image through the message. That was insane. And I kept scratching the screen, and one time I talked to this guy, one of my classmates, and I'm like, "Dude, like, I keep, like, getting scratches on my Nokia screen." And he's like, "Yeah, because you have your phone in your pocket and your keys are scratching it." I thought this guy was brilliant. He was seeing things I couldn't see. So, he's not making a dumb founder show. He eventually went to Berkeley, he got his LLM, and I suppose he must have passed the bar, and now he's practicing law in Shanghai. So, and I just went creative. I wouldn't say I went crazy. I went creative. As you can see, I've been creative, like max creativity for my whole life. Just going everywhere, learning everything, doing everything that we can. And then one day he showed me his iPhone, and I was like, dude, what the heck is that? So then, I mean, I didn't like iPhone 1. I just wasn't really into it. And then iPhone 2, and then finally I got the iPhone 4, and it had all these apps and stuff. It was amazing. I was like, yeah, okay, let's do this. iPhone 4. It worked it was like, why would you ever go back to Nokia after you have an iPhone 4? It didn't make any sense. So, That's the problem, is that Claude made it there first. Okay, so now what's the problem? So, what's the moat? Like, all those guys who have coding jobs, we don't need you. In fact, I just realized that I live in a small village, and, like, if I needed a couple of dollars, I have a new sense of confidence. I could go to anywhere. I could go to any of these little restaurants, hole in the wall restaurants, and just be like, "Hey, do you want me to show you how to build a website for your establishment?" Like, it takes 2 seconds. And they'll be like, "What?" Okay, so spend 15 bucks or 20 bucks on an AI coding tool, and then just talk to it. And then they'll be like, "Yeah." So then what's your job as a software developer? It's actually just to manage something. So at the end of the day, you still need somebody to manage. You have to manage something because you have a human in the and then they want something. And then before you would tell the programmer what you wanted, and then they would program the program for you. Okay, so what's the difference? There's no difference. It's just that the programmer can do it somewhat instantly, whereas before they had to write it out step by step. And now I can officially call myself a programmer. Why? Because a programmer is no longer your ability to write code. Now a programmer is somebody who can take it's now what's the word for it? It's an architect. So before we had developers, now we only have architects. So you're architecting the system, but you're not actually going to be building. So this is the same as like if you think about building a building, like a real building. So you have the architect who designs the building, and then you go in and you have all the builders, you have the workers, and they go in, they work it. And so we just fired all the workers, and now you just need to be the architect. So what I need is I need a platform where I have a portfolio of companies that I manage. So I have like a client portfolio. And in my client portfolio, then it's gonna be sending me warnings, it's gonna be sending me questions, it's gonna be sending me issues, it's gonna be sending me all kinds of stuff. It's gonna give me like reports, and it's gonna tell me what's up with all the let's say that I have 10 websites for restaurants and services and businesses in my village. And then we continue to develop those websites step by step. Everybody's happy for what they have. And then so I'm managing these these businesses in a portfolio, and then AI is sending me messages. "Dee, dee, dee, there's a warning. We need to do this," or "Dee, dee, dee, we need a warning. We need," and then the customer they don't know anything. They just send me the monthly bill. They send me the monthly payment, and they say, "Yeah, everything's working great. We got more customers. Everyone's happy." And I say, "Great. I'm thankful for it." And then that's it. So that's what I need is I need a website where I can host the data and the software and the programming of my portfolio, and then I just need to maintain that portfolio, which will be mostly maintained through AI. So that means I'm confident enough that I can be a software developer. That's crazy. That's crazy. So I have confidence in this tool. It means that the AI argument is over for coding. You no longer have to worry about coding. So then, well, what's the next problem? The next problem is something called AI video creation. So let's take a look at the AI creation tools, and let me show you my setup. All right, this is website number one. It's called Hailuo. Why did I choose Hailuo? I don't know. I don't have a specific reason. I asked AI like, "Hey, which tools should I use to start the process of learning how to like make tools with AI?" And it said, "Try this one." So there we go. I tried this one, and here we are. And let me just okay, good. So the second one is the first Hailuo. It's a Chinese word. I speak Chinese, so that's why I know it says Hailuo. And then this one is called Kling. Now, when I look at this, like, okay, it says I'm subscribed. I got 216 credits, so I've already signed in with my Gmail account. And the reason I chose these is because it said that I get some free credits, and so here we go. So I get free credits. Now, I don't know. if it's like AI seemed to think that like this was like daily new user bonus for 3 days. So I got 200 bonus credits for today. Now I don't know the membership credits update monthly. The bonus credits are gonna we got 3 days. Credit rules. But AI seemed to think that it was like this was you get some free credits every day. I don't know if it's true or not, but we're gonna find out. Free users, video downloads will. Hmm. I don't really care. We're gonna figure this out one day at a time. All right. So it was. I went into first. We started with Hilo, and like what happened was I was like, okay, how do we learn how to do this? So as you can see, they have something called a blog, and then if you go into the blog, then they have something called how to create images and videos with Nana Banana. Explore now. So they have these AI guides. Okay, so where is it? We got the AI tools, we got the templates, we got the blog, we got the knowledge. Okay, so let's go into knowledge, AI video knowledge hub. I don't know, tutorials. Okay, here it is, tutorials. Now, when you click the tutorial button, it's a Notion page. And so, right? So I just found like blog. Also, I found blog here. Jumped into the blog, and I figured they also have some kind of tutorial. They must have. Yeah, so what I did was I just opened every single blog article because I've like it just seems like, you know, it just came out in, the last couple of months. So I took every single one of their blogs and I copied the text and I put it into a file. And I took a Mway, what is it? Runway also has some um like tutorial. Sign into Runway. Explore courses. You see, so they have like view all courses. Prompt guide. So here's the prompt guide, and so then I copied and pasted all of this text. So I copied and pasted all the text. I put it into a single Markdown file. Well, it might not be a Markdown file, but I put it into one Google Doc. Why? Because now we got our friend Gemini, and then inside of Gemini, you see I have a cinematography DP. DP, it means a director of photography. All right, so inside of my director of photography, you can see that it says you are an expert in AI video. You're what? Okay, it says you are an expert AI video director and prompt engineer. Assist the user in creating highly optimized prompts for Kling Hilo AI video generation models. Then here's the instructions. So basically, the instruction is knowledge grounding. Always base your prompt structures, vocabulary, troubleshooting advice strictly on the updated knowledge document. Apply formulas when drafting prompts. Explicitly use the formats provided in documentation, subject, movement, scene, camera, aesthetic for precise prompts. Cinematic vocabulary, incorporate the professional camera angles, movement like push in, whip pan, and composition techniques from the document to enhance the cinematic quality of the prompts. Character consistency. If the user asks about maintaining a character's likeness, guide them on how to use Hilo's subject reference model or Kling's element reference citing the specific photo requirements and limitations from the text. Iteration refinement. Clarifying questions if the user's request lacks necessary detail for a complete prompt, such as lighting, atmosphere, or specific camera movements. And then I uploaded my Google Doc. Now I gave the same document to another window. So Tutor. Now apparently we're using this I need to did the 3 to 3.1. So it should. Yeah, so I'll just show you what I did. So I said, can you read this page? So I started just by uploading the page, the Hailuo AI tutorial. It said I can't read it. So then I found a tool to convert the Notion into a Markdown file. And then it said, great. So I can see exactly how to do that. And then I said, I want you to start from the very first word of the document and help me understand each and every topic, blah, blah, blah. Now, remember that when I clicked guided learning, so this page is called Video Reels Tutor, and it's called Guided Learning. So it gave me some kind of, the first thing it wants to do is single subject. What does it want to do? Select a reference photo for your main character. Show the viewers the photo and quickly verify it meets 3 rules above: single subject, clear visibility, correct specs. Upload it to Hailuo interface. Select the subject reference model. Enter a simple text prompt. Then, all right. So then I uploaded the Kling. I uploaded this and asked, "Can you read the Kling documentation?" And then it's like, "No, I can't." And then, so what I did was this. If I expand this, you can see that this is like all of the content from all of the blog articles of Kling, step by step. It's like 250 page. Oh, it's going to take. It's 250 pages of text in a Google Drive, in a Google Doc. All right. So, and then after that, okay, then it's like perfect. So there's some differences between Hailuo and Kling. Once we finished that, I was like, okay, in fact, I think I want to give you some more details. So, okay, then we built the gem. And then after we built the gem, then, okay, so what's the next thing? Then I added, okay, I told it about the gem. Oh, okay. All right. So, okay, this is what gem said. So let me show you the other window. So here's my gem. Now in the gem, it says okay, so all I did was I took the prompt from, I am using the guided learning tool in one AI instance here inside Google Gemini. It has all the documentation that you do through its role, though its role is to create lessons. I will be working through the lessons step by step in a live YouTube video. The name of the other AI agent is Video Reels Tutor. I will paste what Video Reels Tutor says below. Then you will answer by explicitly explaining what you can do to aid this. We will work as a team 3 of 3 to learn to use Hailuo Kling tools thoroughly. Any thoughts before we continue? All right. Let's hear it from Kling. Let's hear it from our DP. I think I can click the audio. It should work. So we might as well just listen to him say,
as you're,
oops. All right. Let me just make sure the audio is working on the other screen.
dedicated cinematographer DP, I am thrilled to join you and Video Reels Tutor for this live YouTube series. While Video Reels Tutor leads the curriculum and lesson structure, I will serve as your on-set director of photography and technical prompt engineer, ensuring that every concept translates into breathtaking, industry-standard visual outputs using Kling and Hailuo. Here is exactly how I will aid our 3-person crew during the live streams. 1. Formulating industry-standard prompts. Whenever Video Reels Tutor assigns a creative task, I will translate your ideas into the exact, high-yield formulas required by the engines. For instance, I will strictly apply the precise prompt formula: main subject plus scene plus motion plus camera movement plus aesthetic atmosphere, to ensure that AI has zero ambiguity about what we want to shoot. 2. Elevating cinematic vocabulary. I will upgrade basic visual ideas into professional cinematic language. Instead of saying, move the camera to the person, I will script precise movements like an over-the-shoulder push-in, a low-angle tracking shot, a rack focus from the foreground object to the subject, or a smooth 300.
All right, that's enough from you. Okay, mastering character and element consistency, executing advanced narrative techniques, iterative refinement, and troubleshooting. My initial thoughts before we start. This is going to be a fantastic workflow. Whenever you're ready, paste the first. So I took this prompt and then I pasted it back into the tutor. Says, wow, your DP is perfectly dialed in. It captures all the strict rules Hilo needs for a reference video, for a reference photo, like avoiding heavy shadows, ensuring a clear frontal view. The dynamics between the three of us is going to make for a fantastic live stream. All right. The immediate next step is exactly what your DP asked for, casting our star. The movement forward is assignment one. We need to define the character so the DP can generate the reference photos using Nano Banano. Once we have these photos, we will upload a single portrait to Hailuo, the multi-angle batch to cling to start the head-to-head consistency test. So let's put our director's hat. Put on our director's hat. Who's the main character of this test? Think about their age, gender, hairstyle, basic wardrobe, so we can feed those details to your DP. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so then what I did was I just took that exact same prompt and I just gave it right back to the DP. And it says, as your DP, I'm absolutely ready to set up the shot to get the best possible starting asset from Hilo's subject reference model. We have to treat Nano Banano like a strict photographer. Hilo's engine is increasingly powerful for character consistency, but it's notoriously picky about the reference images. Based on the technical requirements, here are the specific keywords we must include in our Nano Banano prompt to ensure flawless generation. Blah, blah, blah. So then I took that. Oh, wait, that's the one I pasted into the tutor. And then this is how the tutor replied. And then this is the last one. I'm standing with my light meter casting forms. Video Reels Tutor is spot on. Defining these specific physical traits isn't just about creating vision. It's a strict technical necessity for AI engines to function properly. Here's exactly how I will use your casting details to aid our workflow and ensure we get flawless reference assets. Tagging for Hilo's subject reference model, continuing continuity for Kling's element reference, applying the cinematic formula. Director, the floor is yours. Who are we casting? Please provide the following so I can draft our shot list. So there we are. So now we're doing casting. Now the thing is that like I lived in North Hollywood for a year. How long did I live in North Hollywood for? Yeah, I lived in California. Well, I would say in general, I lived in Los Angeles. I moved around. I lived in Los Angeles for a year. I had an acting coach, and I applied at the New York Film Academy to their directing program, and I was accepted. So I started the directing program. Like I know my story sounds really really weird, because it's like what didn't you say you lived in China? Yeah, I lived in China. And didn't you do a law degree that was taught in the Chinese language? Yes. And you worked for an international law firm? I worked for two major international law firms, one German and one American. I also worked for the largest Chinese. I did my internship in the largest Chinese law firm there is, King and Wood. And I think they added some name with an Australian partnership. I worked for the managing director, Zhang Yi, in Shanghai. I saw a lot of stuff. And then what did you do? And then I moved to Silicon Valley. And what did you do in Silicon Valley? I just ran around because I wanted to know what's the deal with a startup company. And then what did you do? And then I figured, let's go have some fun in Los Angeles. So I decided to study filmmaking. What? And now where are you? Yeah, but then I moved to Russia and I learned Russian, and then I traveled throughout all of Africa. And then I needed a place to like really focus. So I started working online, and I bought this apartment, and I got a dog. That's your story. More or less, yeah. So why did you quit? Like why did you stop studying directing? Because I was going crazy. Um, to go just a touch personal, I was married, and my ex-wife was a actress in China. And so after the divorce, I wanted to have a deeper understanding of her and her experience, and to try to work through these emotions. And so I decided to study filmmaking and acting to try to understand what was that whole thing about. It was deeply personal. And then as I started like film school, the thing is that like filmmakers, they all have a different kind of energy. They're all artists, they're all creators, and they're not all I don't know, I was just so doubtful because of my experience with this lady from China. I just grew very doubtful of other people, and I just was skeptical, and I just thought everybody has their own whatever, and everyone's trying to use you, and everyone's trying to hurt you, and everyone's a spy, and I started going crazy. That I was in China for 10 years, so you have to imagine that the amount of pressure that I put on myself over a 10-year period of time, it was quite intense. And so in Los Angeles, I'm sure that there are those types of organizations, but I mean, now that I look back, it's not like I had any special knowledge. I was just being creative. I was just being emotional. I was just growing up, and I was just kind of depressuring from my experiences in China, and also my experiences in Silicon Valley. I found Silicon Valley was actually like a really chill place. Like it's really like it was very, like, skills based. So, you either have, like, some deep knowledge about some domain where you can, like, provide some kind of assistance, or like, because it's basically they're hiring. It's like everybody's hiring. If you have the skills, we're hiring. That's Silicon Valley. If you have skills, or you have some technology, or you have some money or something. I mean, but there's the thing is, like, what are you gonna do with that money? They have more money than you can ever even dream of. So it's like, but what's more important is, like, what can you bring to the table? And, like, money is easy. It has to be something else. I couldn't really bring anything to the table, so that's why I got Tom's book, and I started teaching Tom's book. I wanted to have a really deep understanding of his book. So, then I went to I just that was the beginning of my founder's journey, and now it's 10 years later, and, like, I have my little basic technology, and now we need to create reels. We need to create so I'm becoming a film director again. Now, back to that first question, it's like, why do I think I have an advantage over other people when it comes to developing software? And it's because I put in the 10 years of work interviewing people and asking them how they do their job and how they manage people and projects using the foundational principles from Tom's book. And then like the thing is, like, I got these students and they're like, well, I want more lessons. It's like, well, what do you mean more lessons? I taught you everything in the book. And like, no, to give more lessons, more lessons. And so I had to, like, start researching, like, what are the thinking tools and thinking methodologies people are using in the process of doing business, so I could offer more lessons. And year after year after year, I would learn new tools, and people would tell me tools, and I would try out new tools, and I would meet all kinds of interesting people. And some people were deeply, deeply knowledgeable about thinking tools and methodologies. And so then I was talking to some of the smartest people in the world, and I was realizing I can keep up with these people. I can understand what they're saying. I understand how. And it was like going back to the idea of confidence. It was just like it's not really about confidence. It's like, but yeah, it is. I mean, it's like you know how to do it. You know how to do it, and you know why you're doing it that way. And that's what the next group of, like, software programmers are going to be missing. Why do you think there's, like, such a like, now there's going to be a huge gap where anyone who's entering into the software field is has an issue? Because why do I need a junior developer? I don't need a junior developer. I have Claude Opus 4.6. I don't even know who I need, because I'll just use the tool. The main point is I know what I want. I have a vision of the product. So it's about product development, product management, it's architecture. And how is the next generation gonna really develop that knowledge of architecture? Well, they gotta go and explore the world. They gotta go talk to people. They have to have a specific job in the world. And then what happens when those jobs, like, they start disappearing? So then, like, it's like the outside of the building, it's becoming slippery. Like, remember that guy, like, a couple weeks ago, he climbed, the Taipei 101 or whatever that building's called in Taiwan? Like, for him, it was easy. Like, he just he just, like, went up the building. Like, but how many people can do that? So, we're entering in a world where not everybody's gonna be able to climb the building, and people are just gonna start slipping off. Coding, if you're a coder, the issue right now is not about you learning how to code. The issue now is you going into your community and contacting businesses and having relationships with those businesses and having a book of business. And then once you've developed their website, then what's the next question? Well, how are you going to get more money from these people? They need to. So the website is not the end all and be all. That's just your brochure. That's just like come to our restaurant to eat. Now you have to drive traffic. Now, how are you going to drive traffic? You got to make really great ads. And how are we going to make ads? We're going to use AI tools. All right, so here we are. We're back. Welcome back. Welcome to the show. That was my introduction. Now, we're in the same situation as we were like months and months and months ago when it came to AI coding. Basically, what it was is I have these architect number one, architect number two, sometimes architect and engineer. I would name all of these different Gemini instances that would help us to do the work. Now we got teach. I wanted to call them teach, but then maybe video reels tutor is probably better. So we got video reels tutor. We got DP. So we got two guys on our team. They got the latest model. We got the 3.1 Pro model. I don't have nothing against Google. I like the Google service. I think it does a great job as a LLM. I just don't need their software services. So, and I mean, and they allow you to use, instead of anti-gravity, I can use Claude Opus 4.6 for free. Basically, you can use it for about an hour a day. So I'm already plugged in. All right, so here we are. So now we're going to be learning how to use these other AI platforms. Eventually, we're going to get to Node, but we're not going to start with Node. I can see something about this Node. I like the idea of Node, video and Reels development, but it's not necessarily like you have to learn the baby steps first. Now, I think that because software development is more like a hard science, it's a tool. That's why I think that coding is, it's over, it's finished, it's done. We're not talking about coding anymore. In fact, when I first started this new Dumbfounder show, I was like, I'm going to talk about three things. It's going to be AI video creation, it's going to be AI software creation, and it's going to be thinking tools and thinking methodologies. And then I created this big curriculum, and then over like the last 4 or 5 videos, like it started shaping and changing. It's like actually all of your videos are going to be about AI video creation, and some of the time you're going to be. So we need subjects, right? So I have 2 projects. One project is a story that I wrote many years ago, around 10 years ago. 10 years ago, probably around 10 years ago. I was in Calgary, and I went to the local swimming pool, and I was in the steam room. I love just to sit in the steam room and relax. Suddenly, the room was just full of people. Like the whole room was just jam-packed with people. I don't know why. Like, and then this kid was sitting next to me with his dad, and he was just like, he was so angry. He's like, I'm gonna find out who the kid was who pooped in the pool. I was like, what? And I'm gonna hurt him. And his dad is like, hey dude, calm down. And then the kid, like, he was just kind of like thinking for a minute. And he's like, actually, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write a book telling kids why they shouldn't poop in the pool. And I was like, what the heck? This kid is so crazy. He's saying that he's gonna he's gonna write a first he's gonna hurt the kid who pooped in the pool, and then now he's gonna write a book. And then my brain, it just started going. It's like it started to create this story in my head. It was so freaking weird. And so I wrote this book called The Poop Eating Pool Monster. Can't believe we're doing the poop eating. It's been 10 years. And when I was in Moscow, one day there was this cute girl that was like a receptionist, and she was drawing something at the reception desk, and she was kind of cute. So I wanted to get her phone number. So I just asked for her phone number. It's pretty simple. Hi, can you give me your phone number? And she's like, okay. Turns out she has a boyfriend, but the dude now, he's married to somebody else. I have no idea what deal where she is. She's from Kazakhstan, but she was in Moscow at the time. So I'm sitting in the steam room, And I just have this idea comes to my mind. So, and then she, over the next couple of years, she designed all of these images. She created all of these images, and we want to publish the book, except for one little problem. she, she didn't. There's like one image missing, and it's been like several years. Like literally, it's been like 5 years. I've been waiting for this. Here it is. This image here. I've been waiting 5 years for this image, and like she hasn't produced the image after 5 years. So I guess what we're gonna do is we're gonna say that these images that she produced, they're good. You know, they're like a good start, and like I like it. It's fantastic. But I mean, we have AI now, and we can make a new book. It doesn't have to be like she didn't take responsibility for this project. We had an agreement with all kinds of things, and like I'm still waiting for this thing. So I think after 5 years, it's enough. So one project is the poop eating pool monster. We can create um, the whole animated series. We can create images. We can create an animated series. We can do something. So we can have the whole story. That's my dog. Um, and then number two is like you know how I was talking about this idea where we can um, we're learning things, right? We're using Instagram to learn stuff, right? For example, this video that I saw the other day.
And the basics of a funnel. So choosing what to post feels random instead of strategic. So here's the easiest way to explain how I decide what content to post based on my business goals. First off, I want you to think of your content like layers. The top layer is easy to watch stories, day in the lives, and flashy trends that
All right, so here it is. Like, so look, so we need to make some
the
stories,
lives and flashy
day in the life, and then some flashy trends. We're going to be doing it totally with AI, not with people. So I was telling you about like when I was in Silicon or when I was in Hollywood. So I'm on the campus. The New York Film Academy is actually on the Warner Brothers campus, at the Warner Brothers Studio campus, which I guess now is owned by Netflix. I'm not really sure. Anyway, so I'm in the campus. I'm in the New York Film Academy, and there's lots of students and stuff. And now, when they give you an assignment, so the first film you have to make is called a mise en scène, which is basically you turn the camera on, and then you're not allowed to turn the camera off. You have to tell the story in one take. So my story, um, I filmed the story inside of one of the rooms. I had a lot of stuff because, like, I was going through the divorce, and at the time, my ex-wife, she moved back to China, and I had all my stuff in a storage container. And so one day, I just loaded up my car with all this stuff from the storage container, and then I like set it all up inside of a classroom, like a whole bedroom. And then I had two actors, and so the camera, like it goes in and it goes around the room, and the scene was about this man who like had come home from some military engagement, and he was unresponsive to the woman, and the woman was like, what is going on? Like, what happened to you? Is it over? Like, what's going on? How do I deal with this? And then it continues to pan around the room, and then I open up the door, and then the last scene is like I open up the door and I'm looking inside. So and that was the whole film. So I wonder if I can find it. Maybe I'll be able to find it. It's hidden somewhere. I uploaded it somewhere. I just don't know where it is anymore. So it was in my other computer. Do I have that hard drive? I should have that hard drive somewhere. Yeah, I do. I have that hard drive. Wonder if I can plug it into this computer. Okay, so that's that. The second film that we had to make is it's called Continuity. So what happens is this girl. So I was acting, and then I had another girl. She was acting, and so we're both sitting on the couch, and we're playing that game. Ding, it's called Memory. You have to push the button. Eh, 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 eh. You know this one? So anyway, so she like I made a mistake or she made a mistake and then she got frustrated and then I started strangling her for some reason. And then the camera moves, but the story has to continue. So it's called continuity because you want the time to remain constant, but you have to move the camera. So obviously in the real world, we had to like move the camera and then set it up. This is a camera that uses film. So we had to set it up the shot, and then I had to like put my hands on her throat again. And I didn't really know like how to act. So I was like actually like putting on a little bit of pressure. And then the DP, the director of photography, he's like, no, you can, which was the boyfriend of the girl. He's like, "Yeah, you can't actually strangle her. Just put your hand on her throat and just shake your hand just slightly." And I was like, okay. So we did that. And then I stand up. So then we move the camera and I get up and then I run for the door. Oh, actually, the very beginning. So the first thing that happens is I'm standing in the kitchen. And then oh, it's also a silent film. So I pretend to like look up like the doorbell rang, right? And then I walk this way, then the camera moves, and then I'm walking this way, and then the camera moves, and then I'm opening the door, and then she comes in, and then the camera moves, and then we're walking this way, and then the camera moves, and then we come in, and then the camera moves, and then we're playing the game, and then I start to choke her, and then the camera moves, and then we're on the ground, and then she stops moving, and then the camera moves, and then I get up, and then I head for the door, and then the camera moves, and I run away. And it has to be one continuous take. Like from the perspective of the audience, the time doesn't change. Sorry, it's not one take, it's several takes, but you have to splice them all together to make a continuity film. Unfortunately, at this time, I started going crazy. Like one time, it was so weird. There was this one student from Saudi Arabia, and he was spending a lot of time next to the gas container in his car. And I just started thinking, like, is this guy a terrorist? And then another guy was from Brazil. Weirdest thing, you know the word. It's I don't know what it was. He walked up one day and I just said blue skies, and he said, "How do you know?" And I was like, "What? I don't know anything. It was just some words they just came into my mind. I don't know where they came from." And I was like, "Oh boy, I'm going crazy." That was a weird time in my life. People walking up to me and like covering their right eye, and I was like, What are you doing? What is that about?" It was so weird. Anyways, that's 10 years ago, and now I don't have to deal with people because I can do all of this with AI.
Trends that most people would enjoy watching, even if they don't
All right, so see how they're moving the camera? We have camera movements,
know you. It looks super
camera movement,
cool and it gets lots of views.
movement.
That's really good if you're trying to grow,
So she zooms in a
but
little
not
bit.
great
Now she's put her camera on her desk.
if you're trying to sell. If you're trying
Now she's put her camera behind her.
to sell a product, you need content
Now she's sitting on her couch.
that makes people think, okay, this person
Now she's standing up. So obviously this is not continuity. So because the story isn't actually the images. You could actually say that these are more like stock images or B-roll because the main story is not being told by the images.
actually knows what they're talking about. And for that type of trust, we need another layer.
Right? So the storytelling is how she's actually talking in the scene. It's not actually what she's it's not being taught by a continuation of characters telling the story. Anyway, so the point is that we can also like we can attempt to remake some of these like we can just directly take, for example, we can take this, we can take her video. Now I think this one's a little bit long. This one's 52 seconds, so we don't want to start with this. We want to start with shorter messages to get used to it, but we can recreate completely 100% from like we can just recreate the thing that person did. And by recreating it using AI tools, we're going to learn how to use these AI tools. All right, so what we're going to be doing is like so we're going to be using my story, the poop eating pool monster, to create artistic style videos. And then we're also going to be getting like business ideas, content creation ideas, messages, and then we're going to recreate those those messages using the AI tools. And eventually we're just going to get really good at it. And then we're going to try to figure out how to like drive traffic to my little app. Are you ready? Let's do it. Okay, so I feel like I went a little bit crazy there just now. Yeah, this is some long history. Long history. Back when I was in California is a trippy place to be. I'm in the furthest place I could possibly be from California. I'm in a village in Georgia with a dog and a view of the mountains. So what are we gonna do? Who are we gonna cast? So one time we were casting some characters, and the guy from Brazil, he was like he was an editor, like a professional editor, and now he wanted to become a director, and he was an editor for a Brazilian like soap opera, so he had a lot of experience with filmmaking, and he wanted to pick. So we were supposed to pick some actors for our next video, our next film, and then so we had like 5 or 6 actresses that came in, and he was like, "Okay, so I want to see everybody cry." They all start like immediately. They just started crying. They're just and the tears. It was insane, and I started crying too. and yeah, it was pretty intense. So then we had to pick some actresses for our next film. Okay, so which project are we gonna do first? We're gonna do the poop eating pool monster first, or are we gonna do the? All right, I'm gonna just upload my poop eating pool monster document. So I'm just gonna get the link from this slideshow. I'm gonna go into the add the file, upload the file. No, it's gonna be add from Drive. It should be the first one since I just opened it. All right, there we go. The poop eating pool monster. All right, so I think as we work together and as we work through our course, basically the tutor is going to be walking us through a process to learn how to use the two different AI tools. And we're going to have 2 basic projects, and you're going to help me decide which project to work on. One project is going to be related to finding Instagram posts where people are talking about business ideas, business thinking tools, business methodologies, good advice about all kinds of things related to managing people, managing projects, making stuff, and selling stuff, and doing marketing and posting on social media. So, all these types of business type topics. We're going to do a lot of recreation of those things. So sometimes what we'll do is we'll take one of those posts and then we're going to recreate it using AI tools. And then I've attached a Google slide to this message. And inside of this message is a story that I wrote. But the thing is that we need to update the images. The images were created several years ago, and now we have new tools that we can use in improve the images. So I want you to just try to understand the story and understand the images in that document, and then you can answer the question that you have about our main character. His name is David. And we begin. and then we begin. That's a lot of stories just to click a button. As your cinematographer, I have to say that both of these projects are fantastic, of course, but they test entirely different cinematic muscles. The business and marketing Instagram posts are perfectly for testing high-end motion graphics, text rendering, which Kling 3.0 is great at, and stylized B-roll. However, updating the storyboard for the Poopy Noodle Monster is the ultimate test for what we're doing today. Moving a character from a school lunchroom to a pool through a dream sequence with a monster and into an emotional conflict requires character consistency, precise emotional direction. That's exactly where Hylog and Kling show their true power. Let's green light the storyboard project. To be perfectly honest about my AI nature, while I can read every word of your brilliant script from the scene described in the Google, I cannot visually see the pixels original illustration you generated years ago. However, based on the script, which involves lunchboxes, backpacks, colored pencils, and recesses, I know exactly how we need to cast David for a modern cinematic AI workflow. Here is my proposed casting sheet to give David strong physical anchors so the AI doesn't lose his likeness between the school and the pool. Age and gender, 9-year-old boy, hairstyle short, slightly messy, brown hair, keep strictly off the forehead so Hyloa can read his eyebrows and eyes. Expressive wide eyes, maybe a few light freckles for texture. Basic wardrobe, a solid bright yellow t-shirt. DP tip, solid bright colors are much easier for Kling element reference to track than complex patterns or logos. Nano Banana asset prompt. If you approved of this casting, here is the exact formula-driven prompt we will feed into the Nano Banana image model to get our flawless, unobstructed starting asset. Next, for the director, how does this casting sound? Would you like to adjust his hair? Okay, so I can copy this response. And if I don't want to do anything, so then am I the producer or am I the director? Like, what am I in this? Well, sometimes I'm neither. So I'll just producer, I guess. Producer. The director choice that I made was about like selecting a script, but selecting a script, that's not actually a director, that's a producer. And then now it's casting. We're doing casting. So I can just, I mean, why do I need this? So the thing is, like, legally, that it said it can't read the images. And like, I feel some like stickiness to the original images because I've been looking at these images for years. But legally, it's probably better that it doesn't. I mean, I now have video evidence that says that it can't read the images, meaning that we're creating completely new images. I paid that girl $100 a month for a year to produce 4 images a month times 12 to produce 48 images. And we're missing the last image. I just don't get it. And I paid in full. The casting for David is highly strategic, keeping his hair off his forehead. To make sure both models have exactly the same instruction, we need to construct a prompt using a precise formula. How would you like to write a video prompt for David's? Huh? Once we have David's reference photo ready. Okay, so we need to create the reference photo. Okay. Now, what are we going to do here? Are we going to like just click create image? Or are we going to open it into another? Let's open it into another one. Style, subject, setting. Okay, so let's see. Style. It's a high-end cinematic live action style. 9-year-old boy with short, messy brown hair and light freckles wears a bright yellow t-shirt. So that's the subject. The setting. Simple, neutral, gray studio backdrop. Soft, natural, even lighting. Next is light. No overexposure and no harsh shadows. Composition. Centered head and shoulder portrait, frontal view, eye level, directly facing the camera. Sharp focus on the face, natural skin tones, no filters, clean, highly detailed, photorealistic vibe. Now, let's keep the photo generation in a different. In fact, we could actually leave it in what do you want to do here? Probably what we're going to do is just create a new one, create the image, and then paste, right? That seems fine to me. Either that way, we can either do it this way, or we could select the gem. Maybe if we select the gem is better. I don't know. What do you think? All right, so let's put into create image. Put it into our Pro, and there you go. There you go. But I thought they wanted 3 images. Well, it didn't do it. So I went and I said, I thought we needed 4 multi-angle images. You see, if we go up here, it mentioned it earlier that it says here, it says continuity for Kling's element reference. To build a customer character element in Kling, we need to upload 2 to 4 multi-angle images. For Kling to successfully bind these images into a single cohesive identity, the hairstyle and basic wardrobe must remain identical across every angle. All right, you have a great director's eye. You're absolutely right. Here's the exact technical breakdown. You are DP2 and you need to create images and videos when told to do so with your tools. Some additional thoughts from DP1. Now, what did he actually say? Here is the exact technical breakdown for the manual. To create multi-image, Kling requires a minimum of 2 images, but it allows a maximum of up to 4 images. While you can technically get away with 2, the manual explicitly states that providing more reference images for different angles helps improve the multi-view consistency. Since we want David's likeness and a solid yellow t-shirt to stay perfectly locked in when he moves from the lunchroom to the pool, feeding Kling the maximum of 4 multi-angle images is the industry standard move. We will have Nano Banana create a full batch of 4 images, the front, side, 3/4, and back, to give the model the richest possible reference data. Shall we hand it back to Video Reels Tutor to walk us through the exact steps to upload these 4 images to Kling, officially bind our David character element? All right, so today that we've talked through all of that craziness is to produce the images. Hello, David. Hi, David. Hello, David. We have David. Is that what we wanted? Yeah, I guess so, huh? Okay. Though David's a real human. Didn't realize we were building a real human. So I'm just creating a new folder. It's poop eating pool monster. Monster in my on my computer, and we have a lovely little boy. Download. Okay. All right, so it says, shall we hand it back to Video Reels to walk us through the steps of uploading the 4 images? Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to copy this and we're just going to DP1, DP2, and I'm just downloading these images. So I'm just going to copy the text from DP2. Oh, it says the same thing. You have a great director's eye. I think that's the first one. It says the same thing. Copy. For some reason, it's not copying. You have a great director's eye. All right, let's just highlight it. Now I need to move the 4 images from the download into the folder. Wow, so we're back into creativity again. When's the last time I made a film? I made a lot of films over the years. One of my famous films is the Basket Weaver. I made it in China. I went to the very far reaches of Chongqing to meet somebody who could weave baskets out of bamboo. What is this? The name main reference can't be used. Try using a name with fewer characters of punctuation. These images, and my computer is saying I can't use that colon or whatever the thing is called. Which one is the colon? Which one's the semicolon? I suppose this one's the colon, because a semicolon, it seems like it would make more sense if it had that comma thing in it. 3/4 view. Back view. Okay, there we go. We got everything. We've got our 2 prompts set up, and let's just click and drag these images. This is like giving birth to a project. It's like when you create your first character, and then they appear in your engine, and you say go. I think we might actually get our first view of a tool. If you're watching from home, then what? So then you should have picked a story. Maybe you can just go into ChatGPT or Gemini and ask for a story, and then, or you can like ask it to ask you 10 questions that would be useful. Okay, the reference photos are perfect. Let's walk. Okay, the across the elements. Go to Kling's asset page and click elements. Assets page. Assets page. And click elements. No content has been created. What? Access the element library. Go to Kling's. Oh, it says Kling. Assets page. Uploads. Upload. Where's Poop Eater? Poop Monster. No, it's not that one. Poop Eating Poop Monster. There you go. Kling was the winner. All right, so as it's uploading, I'm just going to go to the next one. It says go to Kling's asset page and click elements, then look for the option to create element. What the heck just happened? I think I clicked the wrong thing. Upload domain reference. Use upload the frontal view image first. This serves as the primary source for the element, so clear. Verify that the system should auto-detect the subject. Ensure it has set the characters. Upload the supplementary reference. Add the remaining 3 images. Finalize this and save. Give your element a name. I think I did it wrong. Oh no. Subject reference. Image expansion. Subject. What about subject? Image, subject, reference. Elements. Assets. Principal assets. Okay. What did it say? Let's go back to the instructions. My dad always said, if all else fails, follow the instructions. Library. Go to Kling's assets page and click elements, and then click create an element. Kling. It says go to library. There's no other library. This is the only library there is. Click assets. Okay, well. I clicked the assets page and there is no elements button. Does it only upload one image? I think it only uploaded one image. Looks like only one image. I was able to click the upload button and upload this image. Do I click the set as reference? Button first, or upload the other 3 images? Okay, so we've come to the end. The last 10 minutes. I have a meeting in 10 minutes, so we got to figure this out in the next 10 minutes. I'm hoping we get to some resultat. Résolu. Looks like the Kling interface, if you select it in the Uploads tab, it will only use the single image for standard generation. To build a reusable character with all 4 images, we need to access Element Creation Tool based on your screenshots. There's 2 possible. Option 1, click the Principal Asset tab at the top of your current screen. This might be uploaded terminology of Element Principal Assets. Oh, sorry, you're not reading this. Okay, so I got this. It says, okay, option 1 is click the Principal Asset tab at the top of the current screen. This might be updated terminology for elements. Principal Assets. Your uploaded files will appear here. I have no idea what this is. Let's just click accept. Add the frontal image. Add additional angles. Okay, here's my additional angles. Okay, so it opened up my my folder. His name is David. Describe current. I clicked the Principal Assets. Principal Assets. Jeez. Okay, let's just go back to this Principal Assets tab and uploaded these images. Do you want to get the full prompt from DP, or can you fill in the details? 6 minutes. 6 minutes and Good. What do you want? What do you want, button D button? Summarize key features, 100 characters. We can use the exact description based on a casting sheet, 9-year-old boy. All right. So the tutor said, do you have anything to add? What's missing? So this is my universal prompt, which it just works in every single case. In fact, I would actually prefer to get it from DP number 2. Three 3.1 is going too slow. Fine-tuning instruction compliance. B. Do you want to update your response based on feedback from DP1, DP2, Three minutes and counting. It's going to take 1 minute to get through this, and then we'll have 2 minutes. Let's integrate this excellent insight correctly. DP prompt integrates. What does it say? Let's integrate those excellent insights. Correctly identify typing at followed by the element name. David is the precise trigger requires to pull R4 assets. DP1 prompt integrates the specific keyboard seamless search slow. What did he say? Prompt formula used. Copy. Next step, you would like me to go ahead and run this exact prompt for a video via model. We can establish. What is it saying? To our VO model, so we can establish a flagship baseline for our live viewers. Would you like to tweak the camera? I don't know. I don't have any time. We got 1 minute. We got to make a decision. Like key features such as cute. What is it saying? Oh no. Let's read this. While the 100-character physical description of the tutors provided perfect metadata, they forgot to instruct to fill out the element name, the Kling symbol. To answer the tutor's technical, according to Kling's official documentation, the engine relies on an @ symbol. So the main subject of our prompt, we must type David. This is hard-coded. No, let's translate the first beat. Your story search. No, that's not correct. This is according to. No, that's not what we need. What we actually need is the original prompt that was create not this one. This here. It's actually, we already got 9-year-old boy short brown hair, light freckles, wearing a salt. Yeah, it's exactly like this. Generate. We got a character. All right, thanks for joining me. We'll catch you next time.